I'm the owner of an independent run specialty retail store and a race timing business.
And a what business?
Race timing, like if people run a,
yeah.
5K.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Specialty retail. Does it have to do with running as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you're all into running. Okay.
All into running. But I have 9 employees, including myself, and we do about $700,000 annually in revenue. My question is, how do I handle multiple extended employee absences that are negatively impacting the business?
Why are they out?
Well, mostly it's health reasons. There's a lot of issues. It could be surgeries. It could be, it's a variety of things, or it's someone in their family, that's experiencing, these health problems and things like that. It'd be one thing if it were one person, but it's multiple, and I'm just a small retail store, and it's gotten a little out of hand.
Yeah. At your size, you can only absorb so much of it in the name of grace. And then you can't continue to absorb it all because you won't have the money to pay the people that are there because the work's not getting done. Okay? So at our size, we can extend ridiculous grace for someone that has a legitimate health issue. Okay? Like we've had people out on fighting cancer for months on end, okay? And we continue to pay them, but we've got the ability to cover it and it doesn't cause us to go broke, you know what I'm saying? But when I was your size, I couldn't do that. I didn't have the money to do that, like you said. And so what I did in those days, and I guess what you're going to have to do is my grace can only go as far as the math allows it. And that's what your frustration point is. And so I'm going to tell people that. I'm going to say the validity, how valid your absence is, does not matter after a certain point. I can't cover it, even if I wanted to. I'm really sorry that your spouse has cancer and you're having to help them. It's horrible. I'm crying with you. I'm praying for them. But you not working for 4 months, I can't do it. I've got to fill the position. I got to get the work done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's not unkind. It's the math is a taskmaster. I mean, it'll whip your butt, and that's what you're facing here. So I think you just got to have a talk with the team as a group and say, listen, we've had a lot of time off for different things. And it's going to make us to where I can't continue to operate. And so, you've got a set amount of personal time off, PTO. After that point, you're going to take your time off unpaid. And if that's too extended, I'm going to have to fill the spot because I have to get the work done.
Where we are now is that out of PTO, out of, and all that. And I'm just.
Yeah. Well, and they're not getting paid when they're off now, right?
Correct.
Okay, so then you've just got to say, how long can I do that before I've got to fill the spot?
Okay.
How long? You know the answer.
Yeah.
I do too. It's a month.
Okay.
Right? It's not longer than a month, is it?
It is right now.
No, I'm saying it's not reasonable at your size they go through their PTO, which means they've already not worked for a month. Right? How much PTO
Correct.
do you give them?
I give my full-time employees 3 weeks.
Okay, so there's a month. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then they take another month unpaid. So now they've not worked for 2 months. That's the most you can do. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
After that, you can't continue. And I will tell you this: among our team, we also will draw a line on some of that. Even though we don't have to mathematically, we just do it as a matter of reasonableness. Look, you're just never here. So we probably ought to call it out loud and say that. And it's not a single thing. It's 14 different things because some of these people are just perpetual. Sometimes it's all legitimate, but it's just like, my God, your life looks like a country song. It's just, I'm sorry. This is awful. It's horrible. And I feel bad for you, but I also can't go on not getting this work done. We need this work done. And so, for now, we're just going to have, if you take more than this off, we're not going to be able to sanction even without pay. And so, and you've got to look at it on a case by case and go, okay, this one's one I really need to step up and invest in. But this other one, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm out of patience. And that's okay. You own the business. Let me tell you, Melissa, they can't work anywhere else. Corporate America will fire their butt.
Yeah.
With no feelings. At least you got feelings. Right?
True.
You are not a bad person for setting out a guideline here and saying, okay, you decide, but I think listening to you, it's after PTO and unpaid for 1 month. That's about all I can do in a year. I've got to replace you otherwise. With the rare exception of you look at it and go, well, I feel like God's telling me to invest in this, but that's a rare exception. I've had a few rare exceptions around here, and I've had a few things I went, no, you're just sick all the time, and it's awful, and I'm sad, and I've got to get this work done. And so I can't, you've been here 90 days, and you've been here 4 days of the 90 days. That doesn't work. And I've had that, the first 90 days, they're not here but 4 times, and that's just that's not cool. It's not that, and usually it's not, you and I are not discussing people who are just lazy. We're talking about people that have legitimate health problems at home or themselves, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that none of them I would look at and go, oh, you're
a bum.
slacking, or you're exactly.
Yeah, it's not somebody being a bum. Somebody being a bum's easy. They're just done. Okay, you can come to work or don't come to work. One of the two. This is, you're not your place to work anymore. So, because you don't work. So that's how that works. So anyway, yeah, I think the thing is, welcome to leadership. Sometimes it's hard. Usually it's hard. Most days it's hard because small business people like you and me, we care about folks. We don't just cut their throat. But you also have this math thing, and you're seeing a pattern here that I've got too large a portion of my workforce not at work, and I can't get our work done. So I've got to tighten up on this, or I'm going to go out of business. And all these people are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. So you've got to make that decision. The good of the whole outweighs the good of the one. And when you can't afford to do it, you can't afford to do it. You don't have the money. You don't have the manpower. You don't have the bandwidth. You don't have the margin. And that's not evil. It's just the stage of business you're at. And I'd like to tell you it gets easier. It gets more complicated is all it gets from here. But you're doing a good job, and you got a good heart, and you're a good leader. They should be privileged to work for you.